Big changes for the Big Red Team, like who's not behind the wheel. And the Pico Boat dreams of 3 wins in a row. Unlimited hydroplanes next on ESPN. Welcome to Smithville Lake, right outside of Kansas City, Missouri, a lake usually used for boating recreation and fishing. Well, today, good news, the fish get the day off because it's race day for Hydrofair 1996. Hello, everyone. I'm Dick Crippen, and right off the bat, let me tell you that the driver of the Miss Budweiser, Chip Hanauer, has decided to take some time off from the sport. We'll get into the new driver and exactly what the situation is with Chip a little bit later on in the show. But you remember last week, Chip Hanauer and Mark Tate met together in Detroit in what appeared to be a pretty violent crash. Both boats are back here in Kansas City to start racing today. Now, they had to work all week long on the camel-powered Smokin' Joes, but they got it ready. When they got it here, put it in the water right off of the trailer. Guess what? Fastest qualifying speed of the day. So Mark Tate's in a very good position. Now, something else unique about this race. Last year, either the Miss Budweiser or the Smokin' Joes won every single race on the entire tour except one. This one on Smithville Lake. Stephen David in the T+ took that one. We talked about driver changes earlier. Let's find out more about that from Jim Hendrick.
Well, Dick, as the saying goes, you can't tell the players without a scorecard. In automobile racing, most of the driver changes are made at one time in the month of October, but not so here in the pits of the Unlimiteds today. First of all, Mike Jones, who sat out the Gold Cup, moves back into the seat of his Miss X side. That removes Jimmy King down the pits to take the place of Mark Evans in the U99.9. Evans, of course, moving over to the Miss Budweiser. So we've had lots of driver changes, and we're expecting a lot of excitement and good racing here today.
Now joining us from the pits, Steve Montgomery, who will be on duty all day long. This is a 2-mile course. Now, the weather here in Kansas City's been a little bit on the weird side, kind of up and down. Rough water has been the story, though.
Here are the O'Douls High Point Championship race standings as they stand through the first couple of races, with Pico American Dream having a slight edge over DeWalt Tools. Miss Budweiser in unfamiliar third place.
Let's take a look at the lineup for Heat 1A. In lane number 1, it'll be the Smokin' Joes, Mark Tate, Jim Harvey's Motorsports, Stephen David driving. In lane number 2, the Miss X side with Mike Jones. In lane 3, the Mill Bay Casino presents the Spirit of Lake Chelan, Mitch Evans. In lane number 4, and the Miss Wellness Plan, Rick Christensen, the rookie, in lane number 5. They come down and take the green flag. They are off and running. On the inside, it looks like Smokin' Joe's Mark Tate is going to take it out of the first turn. Mark has got himself a good run. Remember, he came in here, set a very good qualifying speed again, and they've really got that boat in tune.
As they come down the back chute, they have completely rebuilt this boat from stem to stern due to that collision with the Budweiser in turn number 1 of the second heat of the day in the Gold Cup. And, of course, the driver has to have confidence in his crew that it's really put together right to be able to drive it this way as he comes down to complete lap number 1.
Well, he went through a very rough turn down there, the turn where everybody has been having problems so far this weekend, and he came through it in fine style. What confidence that shows by the driver of the boat in the pit crew that he gets in a boat that was severely damaged just a week ago, and he drives it this hard right off the bat. Mark Tate in the Smokin' Joes. Good ride, good attitude on the boat, good speed.
First lap speed, Dick, was 134.7 miles an hour. And, you know, that's about 20 to 25 miles an hour slower than when they qualified. But keep in mind, when they qualify, they're out there all by themselves. Here, they must maintain lanes, and there's a lot of driver maneuvering going around to sometimes pin them into a lane and don't let them out.
There you can see the third place boat, the Miss Wellness Plan, and it is followed there by the Piston Packer. The Mill Bay Casino presents the Spirit of Lake Chelan, riding now in 4th place. The second place boat is Jim Harvey's Motorsports with Steve Davids. Rounding out the field back in 5th place, Mike Jones in the U9, the Miss X side. But still your leader is the Smokin' Joes. There you see a good head-on shot of Stephen David and the Jim Harvey Motorsports. He's getting a pretty good ride in that boat.
Got a good ride here last year, Dick. They won this event, the defending champions, as we look at Mark Tate, the leader in the Smokin' Joes, the Zodiac lap speed, 139 miles per hour.
So Smokin' Joe's is your lead boat coming into the last turn on the course. Second place, Jim Harvey Motorsports in the battle for third has Mill Bay Casino, Mitch Evans, and the Miss Wellness Plan. Let's watch Mark Tate as he comes around the final turn, gets his eyes high on the flag, the checkered flag that's flying off the starter's tower. Mark Tate comes home. The boat came off the trailer yesterday morning, qualified at highest right off the bat. Now he takes the first win of the day. It's a good way to start it. Look at this battle for third.
And it's Mitch Evans in the Mill Bay Casino Link Chelan Piston Packer. On the inside and the outside comes Miss Wellness Plan with the rookie Rick Christensen. The turbine boat way to the left, but he may have the RPMs to keep it up and throttle on for a third-place finish.
Right now, Mitch Evans coming across the line. He's going to take the third. Let's go to the Fruit of the Loom scoreboard. We see Smokin' Joe's first, followed by Harvey Motorsports, then Mill Bay Casino, Wellness Plan 2, and Miss Exide. Let's go down to Steve Montgomery at the dock.
Mark, is that boat ride as good as it looks?
Oh, we definitely got a good boat ride. You know, we learned a little bit in that first heat, and it was a nice, easy heat. And, you know, we did exactly what we wanted. We got the heat win with the Camel Power Smokin' Joe.
Steve, after the week you've had, that's a good start.
Excellent start after last week. In fact, I got to town last week just in time to watch Budweiser end up on top of us, so I missed the first heat we won. So this is great to see us win one of these heats. So it's fantastic for the Smokin' Joe, Mark Tate, and the whole team.
Coverage of the Kansas City Hydrofair and Unlimited Hydroplane Tour is sponsored by Las Vegas, open 24 hours. We'll be back to Kansas City with more Unlimited Hydroplane racing action in a moment. Welcome back to Smithville Lake outside of Kansas City as Ken Muscatel takes his big Unlimited Hydro out onto the course. More on Chip Hanauer from Steve Montgomery.
During the running of the 1996 Gold Cup in Detroit, a horrifying two-boat crash sent Chip Hanauer to the hospital, where it was determined he had suffered at least a mild concussion. Backup driver Mark Evans moved into the Miss Budweiser and finished the day. Then as we arrived here in Kansas City, we received word that Chip Hanauer had at least temporarily stepped down and that Mark Evans would be driving for the team in red. Team owner Bernie Little, I know you've talked to Chip. Give us an update on his condition right now.
Well, Chip's condition, of course, needed to tell you he's stiff and sore, and he had some injections in his throat on Monday in New York, trying to clear up his voice with it, and it's really helped. Tell you that Chip is on standby. When he feels ready to come back to the boat, it's his seat, and I think that'll happen in the very near future.
So that is the relationship that still exists between the Budweiser team and their #1 driver, Chip Hanauer. It does, however, mean an opportunity for a very excited Mark Evans.
This is as exciting as can be. I'm trying to keep my composure. In fact, I kind of keep it to myself and wait till I get back to the hotel room at night and you know, go a little bit crazy. But it's an opportunity of a lifetime. It's just unbelievable. I'm extremely happy that Bernie Little and the Budweiser team hired me to back up Chip, and I'm just going to do the best I can.
Now, as you were looking at Mark, I hope you noticed those locks off the back of his neck and such. Well, the day before the race, Mark is treated to a haircut in the pits, courtesy of Bernie Little, who was on hand just in case the barber needed a little assistance. Heat 1B and in lane #1 with that new haircut, Mark Evans in the Miss Budweiser. Then it's Dave Vilwalk and Pico American Dream, DeWalt Tools with Mike Hansen. In lane 4, Miss Jennifer Jimmy King, and Computers and Applications is the pace boat on the outside, Ken Muscatel. There's the green flag. They're off and running. It looks like it's even coming down into the first turn. Watch lane #1. Let's see if the new driver, Mark Evans, can power the Miss Budweiser to the lead coming out of the turn.
Well, he's in lane 1, Dick, and that gives him the inside track as he comes off of the exit pin. And you can see that from our Labatt's blue eye in the sky, it's Miss Budweiser. But look at Pico, come on. Look at the acceleration on that blue boat.
Dave Vilwalk, who's really got that boat running so far. He is undefeated on the season, winning both last week in Detroit for the Gold Cup and several weeks earlier in Phoenix. He has got the Pico American Dream coming up in there. Miss Budweiser takes the lead back from him, but now Pico American Dream comes on again. Dave Vilwalk really finding power, and Mark Evans still getting the feel of the Miss Budweiser, doing a great job on the red boat on the inside.
As they complete lap #1, Pico American Dream with a half a mile an hour advantage is the leader with 2 more laps to go.
So Dave Vilwalk, who's got the longer course to run on the outside, and the blue and white boat is doing a great job of holding off the Miss Budweiser. But boy, I'll tell you, Mark Evans is not giving him any quarter at all. Mark is very tight on the buoys, and he's really got that boat handling. They usually like to ride that boat very loose, and he is a loose boat driver, if you will. Most of the boats he's driven in his career really tiptoe across the water.
Again, almost a side-by-side battle as they come down to complete lap number 2, going through some very rough water. And the battle continues here as they come down to complete lap number 2 with the Budweiser on the right and the Pico American Dream on the left. Interesting story. This boat, the Pico American Dream, as we look at the Zodiac lap speed of 145 miles per hour, this is a brand new boat. This is not the one that won in the Gold Cup. They put that on the trailer. This is the brand new one.
Well, Dave Villwock was telling me that he felt very comfortable in it. He thought it handled better than the old boat, so they said, let's concentrate on it. They have not even put an engine in the old boat. They're working totally on the new one. Now, there's Mike Hansen out of Madison, Indiana, driving the DeWalt Tools boat. He is in 3rd place. Again, we look at our leader, Pico American Dream, Dave Villwock, a brand new boat, first time in heat competition, and the checkered flag is going to fly. Dave Villwock in American Dream takes it, and he and the crew have got to be very happy because they had that boat fighting through some very rough water to take that win. Now, on our Fruit of the Loom scoreboard throughout the show, we're going to show you not only the heat points, 400 in this case for Pico American Dream, but also the cumulative on the day, because only the top 6 boats move into the final. Here's Steve from the pits.
Dick, when Jim Harvey and Steve David put their boat back on the trailer after 1A, they discovered a fracture in a very critical area of the right sponson. They have to get inside before they know just how bad it is, but this could be a problem for our defending champion here in Kansas City. Jim, how bad is your problem here?
We have a delamination underneath here, Steve, and right now we're just trying to get the water dried out. We can inject some glue and put a patch over the outside. Hopefully we won't miss any heats today.
A lot of pressure in this area. Can you make it strong enough?
Well, that's the difficult part. We can't have any loose skin in here right now. That's what we've got, and it'll just beat itself to death if we don't seal it up.
And that particular boat is in Heat 2A, so they have precious little time to get those repairs done. We'll be back with that heat and more action in a moment. Kansas City, below 12th Street and Vine. Just a short drive from there to Smithville Lake, the site of today's Unlimited Hydro event. And you know, you wonder about all the equipment these boats carry with them. Jim Hedrick is standing by with a report.
Given today's high level of competition in the UHRA ranks, the Pico team has gone one step beyond. They've created their own field support unit. And this unit is headed up by Bill Aker. Now, Bill, what can this unit do for your team on site?
Well, we can manufacture, drill parts, put parts on the lathe. We can weld them up and put the part back together and get it back in the boat.
I understand, though, you share this technology with other teams.
Oh, yeah, we're willing to help any team that might need the help. We really want them out on the water. We don't want them sitting in the pit. We want to be able to beat them out there.
Well, Jim Harvey would like to have his boat out on the water right now, and is in the water. The repair has been made to the sponsor, but it's not on the course. All the other boats are. Let's take a look at the lineup for Heat 2A. Lane 1 will be the Miss Exide Mike Jones, then Miss Wellness Plan Rick Christensen. Mill Bay Casino presents the Spirit of Lake Chelan with Mitch Evans. Jim Harvey Motorsports is going to make it in. There's the boat right there, and Pico American Dream rounds it out. Let's go to the dock.
Question is, how well is it fixed?
Isn't boat racing fun? I'll tell you. No, it's the best. It's not going to get any drier if we wait to the Connie. The glue had actually gone off. Well, no, I don't like to do that. The glue had dried as well as we could get it to dry. So it's just a matter now if it's going to stay together.
The trials and tribulations of the owner of the boat. Here come the boats now as we start the heat. There's the green flag, and Pico American Dream takes the lead from the far outside. As we look down from our aerial camera, you can see Pico American Dream is setting the pace. Remember, the inside boat will have the advantage with the lesser course and distance, but the speed can be upheld by the wider course on the outside.
And speaking of the outside, Dick, the new inversion rule that was installed last year, if you won the first heat, you must start on the far outside the second time around. So the better you do, the farther outside you start the next heat around, and that is supposed to equal the competition. But look at the way from the far outside that Pico American Dream driven by Dave Villwock is doing it right now.
You know, that boat is so new. I think that probably the crew and the driver don't really mind putting it in a different position on the course just to find out what it does depending on how the rest of the day goes and where the lane draw ends up for the final heat. So Pico American Dream having no problem whatsoever. You can see Jim Harvey Motorsports in second place just off to the right. That's the yellow and black boat, and that boat so far seems to be holding together, although we'll keep an eye on that right sponson and see if all the tape and the glue can hold in there throughout the whole 3 laps.
As we look at our leader, the Pico American Dream, the Zodiac lap speed is 139, 4 miles an hour better than any other boat out there.
Boy, they are really pushing it, and they are happy with the performance of the engines. There you see the Harvey Motorsports boat in second place with Steve David driving. And again, we're keeping an eye on the right sponson. Now, that's right to the driver. It'll be left as he comes head-on into your screen. I think I see a little bit of tape starting to loosen up. It has. A little bit of tape has loosened up. Remember, it is reinforced with fiberglass underneath. They put the tape on it to just try to keep all of the water off of the glue as it continues to harden on that boat.
Well, the crew of the U2, Jim Harvey and gang, will have the work cut out for him again when this boat returns, as Steve David gives it a good ride in second place on a rough Smithfield Lake course.
And, of course, Stephen David is the defending champion. Here's the guy who would like to be the new champion. He has already won in Phoenix, Arizona this year. He has already won the Gold Cup in Detroit last week. So far, it's an undefeated season for Dave Villwock in the Pico American Dream. Will he make it 3 in a row? We'll find out. He came through some waves there, but he's going to take the checkered flag, and I can see the smile from here. Dave Villwock in Pico American Dream, winner of Heat 2A with a great ride from the far outside. So Pico American Dream, the whole crew very happy, but look at the damage to the right sponson of Stephen David's boat, but he still takes a second place, and I think that's got to make them feel better.
Checking our Fruit of the Loom scoreboard after 2 rounds, it's Pico American Dream with a perfect 2 first-place finishes and 800 perfect points towards our winner-take-all final.
And the Harvey Motorsports boat has 600 cumulative points as it comes back in. Now they're all checking from the dock to see if they see any further damage to that sponson. Look at this. We've got other boat teams over there ready to help in case there's a problem with the boat. Needless to say, a hole in the sponson could cause the boat to sink. They could also load up with water. It could also continue to rip the hole in the sponson. Steve David anxious to get down there to check that damage out. Well, he looks at the damage there. No damage for Dave Villwock. He's happy.
So how's the ride when you're way on the outside?
Boat's still running great. You know, Pico team got it running great. Couldn't be happier. So we'll just keep slugging it out. It was real rough out there with the T-Plus getting in late and stuff. So we'll just do the best we can, get to the next heat.
Mark Tate is still a question mark. You haven't raced him yet.
Well, I think everybody here's a question mark. Everybody here's real fast. Budweiser runs fast. Smoking Joe's running fast. And now we got the Pico going fast. So it's the most competitive we've ever seen in unlimited hydroplane racing. And we'd like to, keep that going.
We'll see if Dave Villwock can keep his string of wins going. Meanwhile, there you see the damaged sponson of the Harvey Motorsports boat. We'll be back with more action in just a moment. Welcome back to Unlimited Hydros in Kansas City, Missouri, as team owner Jim Harvey shows sponson damage to Steve Woomer, owner of Smokin' Joe's, who is the subject of Rancho Suspension Life in the Fast Lane profile. A man who is here on a mission.
We're here to compete to win. And when we got in the sport, and I think the first year we got in, we were tossy-osty. I mean, that was our goal right off the bat, to win. And we either, throughout the years, we've ran fast or we've broke.
A large part of Woomer's success as an owner comes from assembling a hungry team. High on that list is driver Mark Tate.
Mark is a tremendous competitor. He's a tremendous team player. I couldn't say enough accolades about Mark. Mark is, he's just super. I mean, he wants to win as bad as we do every race. And he's just a tremendous human being.
Team manager, designer, and winningest crew chief on the circuit, Jim Lucero, sets the pace for Woomer's team.
Jim has become not only a tremendous team manager, a very good friend. And Jim is tremendous at managing a business. he's, I'd say, has as much talent at managing business as he does being a crew chief designer of an unlimited hydroplane.
Even a competitive owner gets attached to his entire crew.
And they become family. And that's something that you fight to stay a little ways away from, but you eventually give into it, and you become a very close-knit group. That's one of the fun things about it, is that closeness.
With 2 Gold Cup wins and with the Smokin' Joe's team chalking up their most wins in the '95 season, Steve Boomer still reaches for the brass ring.
Obviously, our goal is to win a national championship. We've come awful close. We haven't been that lucky, but, you know, we'll get there, and we'll keep trying until we do, and boy, we'll have a hell of a party when we get there.
We're ready for the lineup for Heat 2B, again in inverted format.
The fastest boat on the outside is Smokin' Joe's, Mark Tate, and that'll be the pace boat. Next to him, Miss Budweiser with Mark Evans, DeWalt Tools with Mike Hansen, Miss Jennifer with Jimmy King, and Computers and Applications scheduled for Lane 1 has not made an appearance for Ken Muscatel.
We'll check into that. The start is underway, and it looks like Smokin' Joe's is going to take command of the field right off. As we look down from the Labatt Eye in the sky, you can see Smokin' Joe's is getting competition on the inside. Good run for the Miss Budweiser. Mark Evans really pushing him hard.
A great shot from our helicopter as lane number 3. It's the Miss Budweiser leading the way. And remember, this is a 3-lap sprint, Dick.
Miss Budweiser, Mark Evans sitting in the seat that was occupied by Chip Hanauer until last weekend. Now Mark Evans very much in control of the big red rocket. On the outside of him in the yellow boat is the Smokin' Joe's Mark Tate, and he is not giving him much quarter at all. Smokin' Joe's is hanging right on his tail, about a boat length and a half back. Let's see if he can even it up as they come down that front straightaway.
Miss Budweiser first, Smokin' Joe second, DeWalt Tool is third, and Miss Jennifer is fourth.
Jimmy King doing a fine job in the Miss Jennifer, incidentally. He's coming on better and better each race as he gets more of the feel of the boat. But nothing like the perfection of the Miss Budweiser. At this point, that boat is riding beautifully. Rough water on that turn, and she took it without much effort at all. You can see the boat tends to be on the light side. Mark likes it that way. That front end lifts up a little bit, and it just tiptoes on those 2 sponsons. Again, we like to tell people that the surface of the boat touching the water at these high speeds is no bigger than a man's handkerchief.
DeWalt Tool not giving a real good ride today to Mike Hansen. He's currently in 4th place as he tries to catch Jimmy King, who is in 3rd in Miss Jennifer.
Well, we said earlier, Jimmy King has been doing a fine job, and he's right up there with the lead pack. The overall leader is the Miss Budweiser, Mark Evans, followed by the Smokin' Joe's, and then Jimmy King in the Miss Jennifer, the U99.9. Look at the ride of the Miss Budweiser. They've got to be very happy with it. The water has been changing, I might say that. It's a little bit smoother now than it was earlier. Dave Vilwak got a very rough ride out there, but it looks like it smoothed down a little bit.
Our Zodiac lap speed, 144 miles per hour.
So Mark Evans is setting a very good pace as he comes around the final corner, looking up to the checkered flag, and there it is. Mark Evans wants nothing more than to make Bernie Little a very happy owner, and he has done that, winning Heat 2B. Second place will go to the Smokin' Joe's Mark Tate as he gets a little light coming down for the checkered flag, maybe giving a little wave out there to the crowd.
Our Fruit of the Loom scoreboard shows the cumulative points for Miss Budweiser's 700, tied with the Smokin' Joe's as we lend our way toward that winner-take-all final.
Well, Mark Evans very happy, and there you can see the owner of the boat, Bernie Little, also very happy as he gets Mark a little congratulatory applause coming into the dock. Back in the pits, Ken Muscatel's Computers and Applications crew is working hard on the boat. They have the prop shaft out. What was the reason they didn't make Heat 2B? Steve talked earlier to Dr. Ken Muscatel.
We couldn't throw it together for this heat, and therefore we're going to do it, make sure it gets done right for either the next heat or for the last chance. But we're satisfied with the progress we're making.
Let's talk with Mark Evans, winner in that Heat 2B.
We could still get it inside.
So who is faster, Dave Vilwak or Mark Tate or you?
In the next heat, we'll find out in the next heat. Budweiser's feeling really good right now, though. It's riding really nice, and I'm excited to get ready for the next heat.
Did Vilwak run faster with you than Tate did, you think?
Well, I'm not sure. See, we had the inside lane, and that's a lot tougher thing to deal with. So when you're out there in lane 2 and 3 like that, the boats tend to carry their speed. So if we can race them out a little wider, I think we got them.
Which lane do you want next time then?
God, I always want to go for that lane 1, but we might slip out lane 2, lane 3. We'll make that decision when the final comes around.
We've got a real battle going with the Budweiser, Smokin' Joe's, and Pico. We'll be back in a moment. Smithville Lake, where it's more than just a race, it's a carnival for the fans. But in the pits, a different story. Let's join Steve Montgomery for this installment of the Budweiser Performance Corner.
We're with Budweiser crew chief Ron Brown and his brand new Miss Budweiser, which includes a state-of-the-art cockpit designed by Ron with some changes in technology. Ronnie, some of the same switches, and you made some changes too.
Yes, Steve. Basically, though, the two cockpits amongst our boats right now are virtually the same. We start up in here and we have our switches to start our onboard computer system. As we go down here, this lever is the latching system for locking the canopy. We have our starting sequence switches here. Over here on the left-hand side, we have our circuit breakers. These annunciator lights up on top are for warning systems. And over here, we have our fuel shutoffs. In case of an emergency, the driver can pull the fuel shutoff. As you can see, there are no instruments in this cockpit. The purpose behind that is since we have an onboard system and we monitor as many as 40 different items 60 times a second, we certainly can gather much more information than we ever could do in the past when the driver would come in and say, this did this and this did that. But we know now that we can get a much tighter information span when we have everything on a computer.
Way up front, the same two pedals.
Yes, Steve. On the right, we have our conventional throttle pedal, just like you'd have in your car. But on the left, in your car, you have a brake. But on this vehicle here, we have what we call a canard control, and that's how the driver controls the pitch attitude of the boat. And since we have to monitor this with our computer, we can gather information and end up with graphing like this showing the amount of travel on the canard, the amount of seconds it was into the run. We can certainly overlay water speed and things like that on here too, but this particular graph shows how the driver was using the canard if the wind was getting rough and he was trying to bring the boat down.
Now, if you attend one of our unlimited hydroplane shows around the country, you're also going to see the competition cam's Unlimited Lights, and this was their final race as we look back on the course. Mark Webber took the lead early in the Unlimited Light final, but the race for second was heated. Randy Haas and the Miss Leroy and Dennis Macy battled the entire 3 laps. Rookie driver Phil Bonaccini, Pocket Mechanic is the name of his boat, was alone in 4th place. Last lap, it was Mark Webber in the Miss Acutus taking the win. Dennis Macy beat out Randy Haas for second. Here's the competition cam results. Mark Webber, Dennis Macy, Randy Haas, and Phil Bonaccini. And the top speed for the field, 93.201 miles per hour. A 1996 Gold Cup win was a dream come true for Dave Vilwalk and the Pico American Dream Team. He's with Steve Montgomery in the pits.
When did it really sink in that you were the 1996 Gold Cup champion?
I think to see all the elation on the people's faces at Progressive Tool. They were just so happy to do this. And then throughout the next week, all the people that came up and congratulated me over, you know, that it was a pretty big accomplishment, you know, and you don't really think about it at the time because you're just into racing, you know, you just want to race and beat the other guys, you know, but when you go through the week and it starts to sink in how important it really was and how many people have tried and how few have done it. It's a special time and I'm appreciative.
And you can see Dave's wife right in the middle of that celebration. Mike Hansen heading out in the DeWalt Tools as we get ready for Heat 3A, which will be coming up after these messages. Welcome back to Kansas City, Missouri. Dick Crippen along with Jim Hendrick and Steve Montgomery as we look at the big crowd assembled here for the unlimited hydroplane races. Now, the boat on the inside lane this time around will be Steve David, who won here last year, and we talked with him earlier about the races.
You come into Kansas City where you're the defending champion. You get a little more respect when you roll into a town like this?
Well, everyone's out after you, yeah, so it's a kind of respect where the teeth are gnawed, you know.
Racing has its highs and lows. You went from a pretty good season. Your boat ran well. You won here. Then all of a sudden you lose your sponsor. You miss a couple of races. How does the future look for this team?
Well, it's right now it's race by race, city by city, getting sponsors, and a lot of real good prospects, but nothing firm. So you race with a lot more heart than wallet at this point, and makes the team a little tougher, I think. And then when you do get the money back again. I think what it does is add money to that heart, and then boy, these guys are going to be tough. When you give them a little bit of money, they're going to be really awesome.
So Steve David has lane 1. It's Mitch Evans and Millbay Casino in lane 2. Mike Hansen, DeWalt Tools in the middle of the pack. Miss Jennifer in lane 4, and Computers and Applications on the outside.
Ken Muscatel's boat is fixed and running, and here comes the green flag. There goes the field. They are off in the start of Heat 3A. Jimmy King in the U99.9 lane 4 got himself a real good start. Let's see if he can beat out the Jim Harvey Motorsports team on the inside. Steve David is leading him into the turn. We'll see who comes out. It is going to be Steve David in the Harvey Motorsports team taking the lead out of corner number 2. He started in lane number 1, taking full advantage of riding on the buoys for a good lead over the second place boat, which is Mike Hansen out of Madison, Indiana, in the DeWalt Tools boat. Mike would like to get a good ride for that boat. He extended it, made it a little bit longer in the center section in the off season, and he does all the work on that boat himself. There you can see first and second, and look, he's got a battle on the outside. Miss Jennifer snuck up in the rooster tail. Jimmy King is now battling for second place against the DeWalt Tools.
Oh my, we do have that battle, and Jimmy King, as you mentioned earlier, has improved every single lap while he's taking this boat.
Miss Jennifer and DeWalt Tools matching bounce for bounce as they battle side by side into the turn. Jimmy King on the outside, Mike Hansen on the inside. Let's get a report from the DeWalt pit.
Dick, here in the Madison camp, they like the fact that Mike Hansen is staying ahead of Jimmy King, but the young man in the Miss Jennifer doing a tremendous job in the red, black, and yellow boat.
There you can see the land's view as they look from that pit area out there, and they see the DeWalt Tools boat piloted by Mike Hansen. You can't even see the Miss Jennifer because she's on the inside of that rooster tail to the outside of the course. There's Stephen David now in the Jim Harvey Motorsports boat. And there you can see the relationship to the DeWalt Tools in second place, and the relationship from that boat back just a hair to the Miss Jennifer piloted by Jimmy King. So the battle is really for second place. It looks like the Jim Harvey Motorsports boat is going to hold on to the lead the rest of the way around.
An improved ride for Mike Hansen and DeWalt Tool, currently in second place, as we look at the Zodiac lap speed of 136 miles an hour for Steve David in the lead boat, Harvey Motorsports.
He's coming around this time to look for that checkered flag as the battle for second place continues. Look at the ride of that boat. They've really settled it down now. He got a little bit light there as he came into some rough water, but now he takes it right over the bow, and the boat just keeps plowing right ahead. He's now looking for the checkered flag. A great ride to the finish line for Steve David. I'm sure after the crew has been working on that patch that you can see on the front sponson there, he'll be very happy with the checkered flag for the Harvey Motorsports team, winners of Heat 3A. Second place coming in after a tight battle all the way around, the DeWalt Tools boat of Mike Hansen out of Madison, Indiana. And let's go to our scoreboard.
And our Fruit of the Loom tally shows that with a 400-point finish, Harvey Motorsports has a total of 1,000 points on the day, and that will get him into the finale.
A good run for the defending champ of this race, Steve David, in the Jim Harvey Motorsports boat as he comes back in. Oh, look at the intensity on Mark Tate. Why? Because he's going to face up against Pico American Dream and Dave Vilwalk and the Miss Budweiser, all going head-to-head in Heat 3B.
Don't tell me I know. You're right on your game plan, right?
You got it. That was for Heat 3. That was in the game plan. Yeah, now we just win the final, take a check, and go home.
You're ahead of where you were last year, I think.
Well, we have to win this one because we have so many friends back in Florida watching, Jeff and Sherry and our families. And so this is a win for those guys because they couldn't get up here this time.
And the patch held.
The patch held. What a team, huh?
Well, he's got to be happy, and with good reason. Heat 3B, whoa, don't touch that dial. Those boats will be sailing literally. Stay with us. Welcome back to Smithville Lake, outside of Kansas City, Missouri. It's the Kansas City Hydrofair. The boats are warming up for Heat 3B, which is really going to probably be a preview of the championship race this afternoon. It's going to be really a heated heat. Mike Hansen had a great race in 3A. Steve is down on the beach, and he's talking with Mike now.
Good job. How's the boat ride?
Boat ride's great. We just need a few more miles an hour. It's the T-Plus had of the inside and have a little bit more miles per hour than we do, but it's a heck of a boat race between me and the wellness plan, or whatever they're calling it this week. Jimmy King and the Leland's boat, they do a heck of a job, and it's a lot of fun.
Consistency should have put you in the final by now.
Yeah, we're in the final. I mean, that's one of our fortes is consistency, and Last year we lacked a little bit of that, and I think we got it back this year. We just need a little bit more boat speed.
Well, Mike Hansen's going to find a spot on the shoreline to watch this race. No question about it. It's going to be a big one.
Pico American Dream, Dave Villwock in lane 1, Smokin' Joe's Mark Tate lane 2, the Bud with Mark Evans lane 3, followed by the Wellness Plan and Miss Exide. The owner of Pico American Dream, Fred Leland, is down on the dock. Let's go down and get his thoughts.
Fred, is this a preview of the final, or do you save a little here for the final?
I'd say this is probably kind of a preview to the final.
Will he hang it out or save the boat a little bit?
I believe we went to win.
It looks like it's going to be a good start this time around. The officials are all poised and ready to pull that white flag and wave the green. Let's see if they get it. They're coming around. They fan on the turns. The outside boat leading the pack through. Everybody else paces themselves off of that boat. Look at Smokin' Joe's positioning. There's the green flag flying, and we've got a start. It looks like Smokin' Joe's Mark Tate has taken the lead out of lane number 2. Pico American Dream staying very tight on the buoys on the inside as we look down from the Labatt's high in the sky. Look at Pico try to close in on the lead boat.
Oh, boy, Smokin' Joe get a great start there and down that back chute, but look at the other two. The blue boat is Pico American Dream. The boat on the right, the red one, Miss Budweiser. They're battling for second.
That seems to be almost unbelievable with the run these boats have had so far today. But you know, the word was around the pits before this race that somehow Smokin' Joe's has found more power. Everybody's talking about it down there, and they are proving it on the course right now. There you see a great head-on shot. You lose a little bit of the perspective. Smokin' Joe's has a pretty good lead of about 7 boat lengths on the second-place competitors, and you've got 2 of them battling for second. Inside boat, the blue one is Pico American Dream. Outside, the red rocket, the Miss Budweiser with Mark Evans at the wheel.
They're battling now for the O'Doul's High Point Championship points as we look from the Labatt's eye in the sky and look at the Miss Budweiser with a bigger lead now over Pico American Dream.
This is the first time this season that Pico American Dream with Dave Villwock has been sitting back in 3rd place. Remember, that's the brand new boat that they're running out here today. Miss Budweiser is the boat they're trying to catch. A very solid 2nd place, still leading and very comfortably out front is Smokin' Joe, Mark Tate. And there you see Mark as he completes the turn and comes back down onto the front straightaway. The Zodiac lap speed 145 miles per hour. He is really showing them some rooster tail out there, as they like to say, as opposed to just exhaust. The battle for second just as tight as ever. Dave Villwock trying to take advantage of that inside groove. A little bit of a rough up there for the Miss Budweiser. The water continues to roughen up here on Smithville Lake. And look at Dave Villwock. He has closed it down again. Villwock is really starting the challenge.
I don't think that the inside lane is the place to be. Most of the drivers during testing and qualifying said lane 1 was too rough. They prefer to be on the outside. Steve Woomer with a big smile on his face. His boat, Smokin' Joe's, right here, is leading.
They have worked hard. They've had a lot of bad luck. As you know, this boat again last weekend was in a bad crash with the Miss Budweiser up in Detroit. But this time it takes the checkered flag for the Heat. A big win for Steve Woomer, the owner of the boat, and of course the driver Mark Tate. Here's Mark Evans, the driver that's sitting in the seat that Chip Hanauer occupied a week ago in the Miss Budweiser. Oh, Pico American Dream has gone down. Dave Villwock trying to get the power back to it. He gets the power in, gets back up. He is going to finish in 3rd place. Boy, he ought to count his lucky stars on that when he almost lost 3rd place. So here are the cumulative points.
Our Fruit of the Loom scoreboard shows Smokin' Joe's and Miss Budweiser tied by 1,000 points. Pico American Dream, lucky he restarted. He has a slight 25-point lead on the day.
Mike Jones in the Miss Exide is coming in at this point. He doesn't have enough points for the final. He will have one last chance in the last chance race, or the consolation, if you will. Coming into the dock now, the Miss Budweiser. Mark Evans taking the rope. You can see Bernie Little. He just snuck up there on the dock, and he'll talk to his driver right away. Let's go down to Steve, who's with the winner, Mark Tate.
Mark, talk about your start. It looked like that's where you got your advantage.
Well, most definitely. You know, it's a very short run coming off the first turn to the starting zone, and if you're not up there where the pace boat is, you're going to be late.
You were not late.
No, the Camo Power Smokin' Joe boat was, you know, we were even a little behind Mike Jones at the start, but, you know, give credit to the crew. We made some changes that time. We definitely had a better boat under us for the 3rd heat than we did the 2nd.
That looked like a final heat. Did you save anything?
Well, you always save something for the final, and I'm sure we'll be well prepared for it.
Well, we told you before, the word was around the pit. They found some extra speed somewhere. Ken Muscatel's crew readying that boat for the next heat. They had a bearing problem with the drive shaft. We get word that the Miss Exide will have a different driver for the consolation battle that'll be coming up shortly. Pico American Dream went through a rooster tail from the Miss Budweiser. They've got to repair. We've got to take a timeout. Welcome back to Smithville Lake outside of Kansas City, Missouri. We're in the consolation race. That's the last chance, a wild card to get into the final, if you will. Ken Muscatel's computer and application boat on the outside. Mitch Evans in the Mill Bay Casino inside, head-to-head going into the last lap. You'll remember the computer and applications boat. Ken Muscatel, they had to work on that drive shaft. They had a bearing problem. Water was getting into the boat, so they did a good job in repairing the boat. But look at the piston packer. This is the only piston packer boat that is on the entire tour for the unlimited hydroplanes. Mitch Evans is doing a great job. A lot better ride than the Miss Exide is getting with Rick Christensen behind the wheel. He's got some problems. He's got the strobe light on, the canopy open to tell everybody he's all right. Muscatel has a brand new boat, and for him, that is a real thrill. He bought it from Jim Harvey, and right now that boat is out front. They are going to take the checkered flag, so it's a win for Ken Muscatel. It was worth the effort to fix that bearing.
So that means that computers and applications, he'll be the trailer boat, and he gets into the final for the first appearance of 1996.
Well, in the pits, the final is on everybody's mind. Jimmy King's boat is getting some new prop action. Pico's group is working on the engine. They feel they've got some great bullets this year, by the way. And Jim Harvey, they're finessing the sponson just a little bit, where they've had to do some repair work on the U2. It was a rough outing for Rick Christensen. This is his rookie season, and his posture says it all right there. He'd much rather be finishing under his own power at this point.
The winner-take-all finale coming up, and in lane 1, Pico American Dream, Smokin' Joe's lane 2, the Budweiser lane 3, Harvey Motorsports lane 4, DeWalt Tools lane 5, Miss Jennifer in lane 6, and trailing will be the computers and applications entry.
Right now we look at the Budweiser pit as Mark Evans literally bounds to his mouth. The Miss Budweiser will have the final in a moment. Back with the unlimited hydros from Kansas City. We're ready for the championship. Inside lane goes to Pico's, but first choice went to the team Steve Montgomery is with.
Steve, the guys had lane choice and took lane 2. Were you in that meeting?
No, and I'm glad I wasn't. No, that's what they decided. Lane 1's been a little rough, and they thought that maybe we had a little better shot from lane 2, and that's what they're going to try. And of course, right now we find out if my bypass operation worked real well or not, because as you can imagine, the owner is nervous.
And there they go, green flag, and we have the start. Everything on the line in this one. All the money, all the prestige, all of the points. It's all on this race, and Smokin' Joe's is smoking right out of the box. Right around the first corner, around the second corner, and onto the back straightaway. Smokin' Joe's is leading Pico American Dream. Dave Villwalk trying to even him up on the inside.
Boy, we have a race off of the apex of that first turn. Smokin' Joe's wisely kept it a little wider. Remember, lane 1, I think, is rougher for the Pico American Dream at this point.
As they come around the turn, it's been giving them problems all day long. It's still Smokin' Joe in the lead. Now it is the Miss Budweiser, who is closed on the outside for second place. That may hold true. It may be a little bit smoother to the outside. We see great acceleration, and boy, are they moving fast.
They are really, really tearing it up right here on this 2-mile course, because no matter what points you had today, as we look at our Zodiac lap speed for our leader at 144 mile an hour. As I was saying, doesn't matter what points you have getting in here. First one to take the checker flag wins, and there's a great, great view from our Labatt Blue eye in the sky.
Good pace being set by the lead boat, the Smokin' Joe's. You saw that Pico's crossed the lane, has now gone to the outside of lane number 1. Whoa, a little bit of jumping around for the Smokin' Joe's. Look at the battle for second now. Miss Budweiser riding in third, trying to close down on the Pico American Dream. Pico is now trying to get some cleaner water. I think he was getting roughed up on the inside, but look at him bounce on the outside in lane number 2.
He's still a solid second behind Smokin' Joe, and as we look at our third place boat, Miss Budweiser going by.
Just coming into center screen now, the Harvey Motorsports entry, and that is riding in fourth place with DeWalt Tools right there, the yellow boat. Mike Hansen out of Madison, Indiana, riding in fifth place. Here's the battle for second place. The blue boat is Pico American Dream. The red boat is the Miss Budweiser, now in third. And they're just going around the corner in the final turn of this race, Smokin' Joe's. And as Jim Carrey would say, he's smoking.
And I'll tell you one thing, what a story for this team as he comes to take the checker flag for the first time. Boy, is it, there's a happy owner.
I'll say so. They better be careful. He did have that bypass, but that's probably the best medicine he could ask for. What a great weekend for the Smokin' Joes. Here's your second place boat, Pico American Dream. Let's get in on the celebration.
Does that feel a lot different than last week, huh, Steve? You're all the way back.
Boy, does it ever, I'll tell you. It's the crew worked awful hard all winter, and to have what happened last week was an unfortunate thing, but to be able to work all week and every night all week to get the Smokin' Joe ready to go and get her back in here and to drop her in the water and get #1 qualifier and come in here and win the race, it was great. Fantastic.
With the boat running like that, you got to feel pretty good about 2 weeks from now and on down the road.
Well, I'll tell you something. The problem with this sport, it doesn't last. You know, you win one, you win two, and then all of a sudden the other guy's faster. So you just take them when you can get them.
Our Fruit of the Loom scoreboard, final standings, Smokin' Joe's the winner, Pico American Dream second, Miss Budweiser third, Harvey Motorsports, last year's winner, finished fourth, DeWalt Tools fifth, Computer and Applications sixth, and the Jennifer finished overall seventh tonight. Happy crew here as they congratulate their driver, Mark Tate, with a fine victory today. As we look at our dual standings for the year, Pico American Dream leads the Miss Budweiser, Smokin' Joe, DeWalt Tools, Miss Jennifer, and Harvey Motorsports in that order through the first 3 races. Now let's go down to the winner's dock.
If anybody questioned the strategy going in lane 2, it worked out about like you wanted it to, Mark.
Well, it did. You know, either we were going to be geniuses taking lane 2 or real dummies. But, you know, the Camel Power Smokin' Joe boat just performed well all weekend. We had one heat that we didn't perform up to our standards, but I give all the credit to my crew. You know, a week ago here in Detroit, they had hours and hours of work, and I couldn't make Mark Tate happier to come into this race here in Kansas City and win it for them for all their dedication.
Today's coverage has been sponsored by Las Vegas, open 24 hours. This has been a production of Diamond P Sports in association with ESPN.